Hey guys, what's up? It's me, that boy. Recently I haven't really been feeling creative at all. I don't know why, but I have like no ideas of like what kinds of videos to film. But today I actually thought I'd do kind of like a basic video and do a story time video.
Storytime video.
Insert clickbait title here. I've honestly never done one of these before and I'm nervous and scared and like how do I do it? Do I have to like make a clickbait thumbnail? Should I pose like, you know what I'm talking about? Is this video going to be like the start of a slippery slope where I slowly turn into a storytime channel? And oh, just kidding. I don't have like the personality to like tell stories very well because I'm like not extra and like crazy and like a liar. I'm just kidding. So today the story is going to be once upon a time when I worked in a food court and it was my first job and some fun things happened. So yeah, let's get on with it. So back then I worked that job for around like 3 to 4 months. I was still considered pretty new, but I kind of knew my way around, but I would still say I was pretty new. So basically this one day they scheduled me to close with two like brand new people, and when I say brand new, they literally worked like a week and like maybe 2 weeks. And there was also no supervisor that night. And when I saw that on the schedule, I was like, excuse me, what? But of course I didn't say anything because it was my first job and I of course was like scared of everything. So that night of course I was the one in charge because of seniority, and I was like, it's all right, just pretend like you know what you're doing, like you've been doing for the majority of your life, and you will come through stronger than ever. And you know, I was still kind of young when I started this job, but I was like taking charge and making sure everything was like good and clean. And what I mean by taking charge is that I was like, excuse me, can you wipe this counter please? Or like, excuse me, can you wash this blender please? Which is like literally their job. I don't know why I was being so polite, but in my young, naive, innocent mind, I was like, yes, Hunty, you take charge and order these people around and get stuff done. I think it's also because I'm an Aries. But honestly, everything went pretty smoothly. Like, no one died, everything was fine, like everything was clean and stuff, and after that we went home. I actually went over to my friend's place after because he was having some people over, and I think it was around 11 or something, 11 p.m. I got a text from like my boss, not the manager of my store, but the boss who like manages the other stores in my city. And she was like, hey, is there anyone who is still like in the mall or close to the mall at all? And I was like, probably not because we closed like an hour ago, so I was guessing everyone was home. So I replied back and I was like, no, sorry, I'm not. And then she never like responded and I just assumed everything was fine. And yeah, basically I went to bed and like never gave it a second thought. So then I went to work the next day thinking like everything was normal, and my manager, like the one that I work with on a day-to-day basis, she comes up to me and she's like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And my first thought is like, oh shit, what did I do? But I mean, that's like my first thought every time an adult like comes up and they're like, hey, can I talk to you? I'm always like, damn, I'm in trouble. What did I do? But you know that feeling where you feel like you did something wrong even though you literally just stood there or you didn't do anything at all? I just always feel like I did something wrong. Anyway, so in our store we have this sink that you're supposed to use to fill up like this huge bucket of water that you're supposed to pour down this other drain where we keep our ice so that the next day there isn't like gross ice in there. Yeah, we were supposed to do that the night before, which I like 2000% believe that we did, but apparently someone left the bucket in the sink, but on top of like the drain where the water's supposed to go, and they also left the water running. So apparently we did that, and the entire store like flooded. Also, it went into the food court because our store is literally in the middle of it, and apparently it was so bad that it also leaked into the underground parking. So my manager told me all of this and she was like, yeah, since that happened I had to come to the store at like 11 p.m. and mop everything up since I live the closest to the mall. And in my mind I was like, oh shit, I am so sorry. But honestly, at first I thought it was fake. I thought it was like, oh, April Fool's or whatever, but no, it was real. and I was in trouble. But like the thing is though, I till this day don't believe that we were the ones who did that. I feel like there is a conspiracy theory and that someone else in the food court like sabotaged us. Like after we left, they came into our like store and turned on the sink and just like flooded our store because we had some enemies in that food court. Like I'll get into that another time, but I still don't believe that we did it because there was 3 of us working, and when we're closing at night, it's so quiet in the mall, and there's no way that we would have left the sink on or we wouldn't have heard it running if like it was filling a bucket. You know what I mean? I don't know. I still think it's a conspiracy theory, but who knows? I also didn't get fired, which was surprising. I got written up though, and I was really sad because it was my first job and I got in trouble. But other than that, I didn't get fired, and I had that job for a while. Here's another bonus story because might as well. I saw this social experiment one time on like YouTube or whatever, and it was talking about how people don't really pay attention to their surroundings when they're in public. And I was like, wow, that is so cool. I want to try that. And it was basically like when people go to the till or the cashier and they pay, they're not like paying attention to anything. So then how we did it was that someone would be taking the person's money and there would be someone like underneath the counter, like hiding, so the customer wouldn't see them. And the person at cash, after they took the person's money, they would be like, oh, sorry, I just have to get change. And they duck underneath and pretend to like grab change or something and give the money to the other person. And then they would pop up and give the change to the customer. And apparently it's supposed to be like the person isn't supposed to notice like a change because no one pays attention to their surroundings. But like honestly, I feel like the social experiment that I watched, it was like kind of staged because I feel like when we did it, like the people, like the customer, they definitely noticed something, but they were too scared to say anything because I mean, if you were a customer and like all of a sudden the boy that was giving you change like popped up and they were a girl, all of a sudden you'd be like, what the? Oh, actually, you know what? One time when we did this, it was a mom and her like child, and my coworker went down and then I popped up and gave the mom the money, and the child was like, huh, mom, and the mom was like, what? And I thought it was really funny because the kid was like, what the fuck? And the mom was like, the mom was like dumb. But anyways, those are just some work stories that I have to tell you. I do have like a lot more working in like retail or in like the food service industry. So much weird stuff happens, and I don't know, if you want me to do a video like this again, I'd be happy to. Also, do you guys have any crazy work stories that you want to share? Like, leave it in the comments. And by crazy work stories, I mean like weird crazy work stories, not like, oh my god, a customer swore at me, when they were actually like, can I have a napkin please? You know what I mean? Triggered. I don't know, give this video a thumbs up if you screamed or if you got anxiety from it. Alright, I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!